Hey, West Michigan, this is Congresswoman Skolton back with another episode of Straight Talk with Skolton. There was so much going on in Congress this week after we were back from a 5-week shutdown, but perhaps the most historic was the Epstein files. I'm going to break down what we did this week, where things stand now, and where we go from here. In 2008, he made a secret deal with a prosecutor that led him to avoid a full federal trial. And in 2019, he was arrested again on new sex trafficking charges. But he died before the courts could bring all the facts to light, and many key documents were never released to the public, leaving the victims without justice. Critical documents that detail who protected him and who benefited from his crimes and who may still be trying to hide the truth have all been sealed from public view. Over this past summer, the House Oversight Committee subpoenaed the Department of Justice for records related to its investigation of Epstein. But the DOJ failed to comply with the subpoena, and the records remained hidden. So Congress, the people's voice, had to resort to other ways of bringing the files to light, specifically something known as a discharge petition. This is a way for members of the House to force a vote on a certain piece of legislation without needing the support of House leadership, because keep in mind, Republican House leadership was preventing it from coming to the floor. The petition had 217 signatures and it needed 218. The final signature would be Representative Adelita Grijalva of New Mexico, who was elected in a special election this year. Speaker Johnson should have sworn her in immediately, as is the process in the House. Instead, he stalled for a full 50 days after she was elected. Speaker Johnson took 7 weeks to swear in Rep. Grijalva just to stop the Epstein files from coming to light. It's unconscionable. But on November 12th, she was finally sworn in and became the final signature to move the discharge petition forward. This past Wednesday, the House had the opportunity to vote on the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I met with the victims ahead of the vote and had the privilege of escorting them to the gallery. I proudly voted yes to release the files. The bill compels the Attorney General, Pam Bondi, to make publicly available in a searchable and downloadable format all unclassified records, documents, communication, and investigation materials in the possession of the Department of Justice, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the United States Attorney's offices that relate to Epstein and his accomplices, And she had to do so within 30 days of the bill's passage. Again, to meet with the survivors ahead of and after the vote, stand with them in vigil. Their stories are devastating. They deserve justice. They deserve the truth that is finally coming to light. The bill passed almost unanimously in the House and was immediately passed in the Senate. But let's be clear, no one is above the law, not billionaires, not politicians, not celebrities. No one who might appear in these files. When crimes as horrific as human trafficking and child exploitation are involved, there should be no special treatment for anyone. I was proud to vote in favor of this bill. The Epstein Files Transparency Act passed the House 427-1. Rep. Clay Higgins, a Republican from Louisiana, was the only lawmaker to vote no. Just 3 hours later, as I was standing in a vigil with the survivors, the Senate passed the bill by unanimous consent. No senators objected, and the bill was approved. Then it went to President Trump's desk, and he has now signed it into law. But let's be clear. President Trump didn't have to wait for Congress to pass this bill. He has been under a subpoena all summer. He could have ordered and should have ordered the immediate release of the Epstein file. Not only did he not do that, he worked with Speaker Johnson to delay this vote for months. After many months of delay, in an abrupt U-turn, President Trump said that he would sign the bill, and it became law yesterday after he did so. Under the measure, the files must be released within 30 days. However, the president knows that there are certain loopholes and exceptions, and I will be watching closely to make sure that timeline, the deadline for release is December 19, is adhered to. I won't stop pushing until these documents are released and the full truth is brought to light. This is about justice. This is about accountability. It's about restoring trust in the institutions that represent us and that have failed to stop a predator for far too long. West Michigan, thank you for staying informed and for staying engaged. I'll keep you updated.